Before we do introduction of the first 6 players, please stand and join us for the pledge, led by. Please stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Awesome. We're going to introduce Simla's team starting players. Number 27, Madison. Number 18, Anna. Number 4, Brooklyn. Number 3, Cammie. Number 17, Reese. And number 6, Tanya. And now for CSDB Bulldogs. Tonight is our last home game. Play well. Number 4, Alyssa. Number 31, Yoli. Number 6, Sky. Number 2, Danya. Number 14, Kaliska. And number 9, Melcy. All right, good luck. Have fun.
Hello again, everybody, and welcome to another sports presentation by the Media Productions team and Communications Department of the Colorado School for the Deaf and the Blind, featuring middle school girls volleyball. CSDB taking on Simla. This is Bill Beagle to bring you the play-by-play of this match today. On the Bulldogs' home court, their last home match of the season. I'll remind you that there is no time limit on the games. The games are played to 25 points, and you must win by 2. CSDB will be serving to start game 1. And Alyssa Bird back to serve for the Bulldogs. Nice serve in play. Hit twice by Simla. Now over, and they find an opening in the Bulldog defense for the first point of the game. Simla 1 and CSDB nothing. Madison back to serve for Simla. Right hand overhead server. Nice high and deep serve just inside the boundary. CSDB let it go, but it counts for a point. That's an ace because it wasn't returned. And it is 2-0 Simla. Next serve coming from Madison. Nice line drive, this time into the middle of the pack. And Kaliska got a hand on it, but the ball went backwards out of bounds. 3-0 Simla. Bulldogs have Danya Enriquez and Sky Brown and Yoli Sotelo across the front line. Here's the next serve by Simla. Deep one. Hit by Alyssa and into the net for another Simla point. In the backcourt along with Alyssa, we have Melcy Enriquez and Kaliska Wedlock. Next serve by Simla. Nice high into the middle of the CSDB defense. Returned by Alyssa. And now the teams volley back and forth. 2 hits by Simla. Now they get it over. Hit by Kaliska and out of bounds in front of the scorer's table on the far side of the court. And it's 5-0 now, Simla up. Bulldogs need to break this service by Madison. Here's her next right-hand overhand serve into the middle of the pack in front of Melcy. Couldn't get a hand on it. Another point for Simla. Next serve coming. Nice and high into the middle of the CSDB defense. Melcy again couldn't quite dig it. And a timeout called by CSDB as coaches Steele and Ross want to give some instructions to the Bulldogs. They trail 7-0. Good place for a timeout to try to stop the streak that Simla is on with 7 straight points. CSDB served to start the game, but their serve was returned on one shot by Simla for the first point of the game. And once they got the serve, Simla has run off 6 straight points to lead 7-0 with just about 20 seconds left in this timeout. Madison still serving for Simla. And the Bulldogs about to break their huddle. Come back on the floor. The officials about ready to signal resumption of play. And CSDB is rotating a player out as Alyssa Bird leaves, and Harmony Rivas comes in for the Bulldogs in the back line. Here's the next serve by Simla, a deep one. Good return by Melcy, but out of bounds. She got a good set on that, but it went awry and out of bounds. 8-0 Simla. And the next serve by Madison, a deep one this time. Kaliska hits it, and it falls in front of Harmony. Another point for Simla. 9-0 Simla leads. Simla northeast of Colorado Springs, a town out in the plains. And there's another unreturned serve by Simla to make it 10-0. Simla's run off 3 points since the Bulldogs timeout. Next serve by Simla is going to be into the net, but it made it over the top. And tough to return for Danya. Ball just ticked the top of the net. That always throws players off just a little bit. 11-0 Simla. Madison still serving. Deep into the backcourt. Melcy hits it, but it goes over her head and off the end line for another Simla point. Madison, a very effective server for Simla. Here's her next serve. And made it over the net, returned by the Bulldogs and into the net by Simla. There's the break that CSDB needed. Good return that time by Danya to get it over the net, and Simla's return volley went into the net. Breaks their service and gives the serve to Yoli for the Bulldogs, and they now have their first point of the game at 12-11. Let's see if they can run off a few points here, catch up. Underhand, right-handed server. Yoli gets it in play. 2 hits by Simla, and over it goes, and just over the head of Kaliska for a Simla point, and they get the serve back, leading 13-1. Anna goes back to serve for Simla. Right-hand, overhand server, line drive. It whistled right between Harmony and Melcy. A lot of speed on that serve. 14-1 Simla. Anna dribbles the ball 3 times, spins it in her hands, dribbles it again. And her right hand overhand serve is going to be out of bounds to the left. It was wide left of the court. And another point for the Bulldogs, who now trail 14-2. And going back to serve for CSDB is Sky. She dribbles the ball with her right hand, spins it. She's an underhand server with her right hand. It's going to be short of the net, out of bounds on the far side of the court. Serve back to Simla. They now lead 15-2. And serving for Simla is Brooklyn. Substitution for CSDB as Alyssa comes back in the game, and Harmony, goes to the bench. Bulldogs only have 7 players dressed. Here's the next serve by Simla, line drive, hit by Yoli, goes backwards, and unable to reach it is Sky, just out of her reach. Serving again, Brooklyn. Line jump serve this time, line drive hit by Kaliska, and by Alyssa, and lastly by Melcy. 3 good touches on that ball, but they couldn't get it over the net, and it's now 17-2 Simla. Another jump serve coming. Line drive right in front of Yoli. Tough one to handle. Bounces past her for the 18th point for Simla. Next serve coming. Right-handed jump serve. Oh, deep into the backcourt and just inbounds. That was close to being a Bulldog point, but it was just inbounds. That should be point number 19 for Simla. No, now they're going to rule it out. So, a break for the Bulldogs. That serve was out of bounds. Point number 3 for CSDB, and back to serve is Danya. Dribbles the ball a few times, spins it in her hand, right hand overhand serve, just short into the net. Point and serve to Simla, now leading 19-3. And serving now is Cami for Simla. Deep serve just over the head of Sky, and point number 20 for the Bulldogs. For Simla, rather. They lead it 20-3 with Cami still serving. Line drive, it tips the top of the net. You keep hoping one of those will go into the net for a Bulldog point, but it just ticked the top of the net and fell in between Bulldog players, and CSDB calls a timeout, trailing 21-3. We'd like to make sure we thank our student crew today, Jathan, Nasser, and Brendan, running camera and also working on the switching camera shots to help bring you the action of this match. Last home match of the season for the Bulldogs, hosting Simla. And the visitors are taking advantage of the hospitality, so to speak. They lead 21-3 with 10 seconds left in this timeout. Second timeout called in this game by CSDB. Across the front line, it's Kaliska, Melcy, and Alyssa. And in the backcourt, Yoli, Sky, and Danya. Danya tries to return this wicked serve from Simla. Goes for a point, went up, hit the high up on the wall behind the court. 22-3, Simla on top by 19. Line drive serve right between a couple of CSDB players. Simla has some very effective servers. You can tell they've worked on that aspect of the game. They're now up by 20 points, 23-3. And here's the next serve by Cami. Spinning the ball in her hands, gets the signal from the official. There's her. That's going to be a point for the Bulldogs. Her serve went underneath the net. Point number 4 for CSDB. They trail 24-4, and Kaliska goes back to serve for the Bulldogs. Right hand underhand server. Nice high serve. Falls right in front of Anna of Simla, and a point for the Bulldogs. I believe that's their first point on a serve. Is Kaliska's next serve. Again, nice high serve in play. Hit once by Simla, and now twice. Third, it must come over, and it does. Nice return there, and inbounds. Great return by Danya. And another point for CSDB. Well placed just inside the near sideline in the far corner, far left corner of the Simla side. They decided to let it go, and it cost them. That was a point for CSDB. Good serve by Kaliska. Here's her next one. It's in play. Hit once by Simla, hit twice, and over. Line drive. Kaliska hits it back, and they get it over. CSDB got it over. 2 hits by Simla. There's another hit, and hit by Danya, and into the net by Alyssa. Came right back to her, and she got it over the net, but you cannot hit it twice in a row. No player can hit it twice in a row. You have to have a teammate hit it in between. So that point goes to Simla. Scoreboard showing Simla up 24-6 as the Bulldogs ran off 3 straight points there. This would be game point that Simla is serving for. It goes into the net, and the Bulldogs remain alive with their 7th point of this game. And Melcy will be going back to serve for CSDB. Slaps the ball into the floor 3 times. Now dribbles it 4 or 5 times more. There's her right hand underhand serve. Good effort, but just short. Melcy's only a 4th grader, and that's a long way to serve the ball. Good looking serve, but it went into the net, and that's game for Simla at 25-7. Game 2 coming up. Some creative signs up around the gym for this last home game. One says, "Go Bulldog Win," and of course they're all on white poster board with red and black ink. Another one says, "CSDB Go," and my favorite says, "Feel Scared, Go Bulldogs." CSDB came on toward the end there, getting 3 straight points to climb back into it a little bit, but Simla had gotten out to a big early lead thanks to some hard serving by Simla. Because this is a middle school match, we'll be probably playing best of 3. So the Bulldogs need to win this game to force a game 3. Simla breaks their huddle. Comes back on the floor. They're wearing blue jerseys with yellow gold numerals and black shorts, black knee pads. The home Bulldogs in their red jerseys with black and white stripes down the side, black and white stripes that come over the shoulder, black shorts, and black knee pads. Simla will serve to start game 2, and Reese is back to serve for Simla, waiting for the official signal. One official still talking to the scorer's table. He stands on the far side of the net on the floor and has a card to make sure the right players are on the floor where they're supposed to be. The other official stands on a ladder about 5 feet above the floor so he can look down the net. He's looking down on the net, looking straight across it so he can see any violations. If a player were to go into the net while trying to strike a ball, that's a violation, and the ball goes over to the other side and the point goes to the other side. Here's a right hand overhand line drive serve. Goes past Alyssa and over the end line. Point number 1 to Simla. This is Reese serving again. Right hand overhand server. Line drive. Kaliska handles it. Then Danya, and then underneath the net for another Simla point. CSDB coach urging players to elevate the ball to get it over the net. Not always an easy task. Here's the next serve. Line drive deep in his backcourt. Kaliska gets it over with one blow. hit twice by Simla, and third time it's going to be out of bounds. A little too strong on that return, and it's 2-1 as the Bulldogs get their first point, and they get the serve with Alyssa going back to serve for CSDB. Right hand, underhand serve, nice high and deep serve. Hit once by Simla, twice. They get it over on the third hit. Hit there by Melcy, hit again by Melcy, and that's going to be 3 too many hits. 4 hits, you only get 3, and good volley by the Bulldogs, but they couldn't quite get it to the net and over. So it's 3-1 Simla now. And back to serve for Simla. Right hand overhand hurt serve, that's going to be out of bounds. Point to CSDB and the serve. It'll be Yoli going back to serve for the Bulldogs. They trail only 3-2. Much closer than the first game. Yoli's an underhand server, right-handed, puts it in play. Hit once by Simla, twice. It must go over now, and it does. Returned nicely by Alyssa. Hit once and twice, and just in bounds for Simla, deep in the backcourt of CSDB, but a point for Simla. They lead 4-2, and they'll be serving. This is a semi-jump serve, just in front of Melcy. Tough serve to return. 5-2 Simla. So this server doesn't jump real high, but it technically is a jump serve. Throws the ball with the right hand, hits it with her left. Line drive right between Alyssa and Melcy for another Simla point. 6-2, Simla leads. Next serve by Simla. Left-handed overhand serve. Just inside the back line. CSDB let that one go. It looked like it might be long, but it stayed in play, in bounds. And that's point number 7 for Simla. With another serve upcoming. Line drive again into the middle of the floor, just past Yoli. And that's 8-2 Simla. Official signals begin play. Here's the serve. Melcy gets a set on it. Yoli hits it, and it comes out right in front of us on this side of the court. Bounding out of bounds for point number 9 for Simla. They lead 9-2. Time to stop this run. Bulldogs can sink their teeth into Simla here. There's a line drive deep into the backcourt and off of Alyssa's hands, out over the end line. And the Bulldogs will call timeout here to try to stop this Simla run, which has been 7 straight points. Bulldogs were within 1 at 3-2. It's now 10-2. Good place for a timeout. These are 60-second timeouts. About 40 seconds left in this one. Both teams gathered around their coaches. We mentioned Simla is out in the plains area of Colorado, northeast of Colorado Springs. So they have about almost an hour bus ride to get here for this game, this match. Simla breaks their huddle with 13 seconds to go in the timeout. They'll still be serving. And here come the Bulldogs back on the floor. Across the front line, it's Kaliska, Danya, and Sky. And Melcy, Alyssa, and Yoli in the backcourt. Next serve by Simla. Line drive deep into the back. Alyssa gets a hand on it, but out of bounds on the far side of the court, in front of a few of the fans over there on the Bulldog side, just in front of the bleachers. Simla looks as if they brought a few fans with them this afternoon, made the long drive here. Well, now they're going to award that point to the Bulldogs. So it's 10-3. It should be. The scoreboard says 2. Sky's serve falls short of the net, so that makes it 11-3 Simla. Not sure why they took that point away from Simla and gave it to CSDB. It might have been a violation on the serve. Here's the next server for Simla. Right hand overhand serve. Line drive. Lands right in front of Alyssa at her feet. That makes it 12-3 Simla. Substitutions coming in now. Play stopped while Simla sends in 3 new players. CSDB only has 7 players dressed for this middle school game. Simla has 10. And here's their next serve coming up. This is Anna to serve for Simla. Dribbles the ball a couple times. Right hand overhand serve deep into the middle of the CSDB team and off of Alyssa's hands and out of bounds. Anna dribbles the ball 3 times, picks it up, right hand overhand. So it's going to be into the net. That's a CSDB point. Makes it 13-4, and the Bulldogs will serve, with Danya going back to serve for CSDB. Trailing by 10. And yeah, pounds the ball on the floor, spins it. Nice underhand serve, nice and high in play, and not returned by Simla. So a point for the Bulldogs. Simla got 2 touches on it. The second one went right into the net for a Bulldog point, and it's 13-5. 2 straight points by the Bulldogs. Here's Danya's next serve, in play again. A nice dig by Simla, hit once. Now Yoli tries to hit it, and it falls to the floor. Almost. Point to Simla, makes it 14-5 visitors. And here's their next serve coming up. Right hand overhand serve. Nice return by Danya. Hit twice by Simla. 3 times and out of bounds. Too strong on that return. Results in a Bulldog point. Their 6th of this match. And they have the serve. Bulldogs scored 7 in the first game. And Kaliska will serve. She had some success in game 1. Here's her serve in play. Diving dig by Simla, hit twice, now 3 times over. Kaliska sets it up. Alyssa gets it, and Melcy tries to get it over the net. Not quite. Good effort by Melcy. Good hustle. 15-6 Simla. Here's the next serve by Simla. It's going to be a jump serve, sort of. Overhead right hand serve falls between CSDB players for a Simla point. 16-6. Simla up by 10. They won the first game 25-7. There's the right-handed jump serve right in front of Danya for another Simla point. Sometimes you really have to get down. That's why players wear knee pads on both teams. Sometimes you have to really get down and dig for that ball. Here's the next serve by Simla off of Yoli's hands and out of bounds. Makes it 18-6 Simla. Next serve upcoming from Simla. They have a commanding 18-6 lead. There's in the front court, hit by Yoli and out of bounds in front of us here at the broadcast table. Simla point, 19-6, Simla up. Next serve by Simla. Line drive in the front court. Yoli gets an easy return on it, but it goes out of bounds. Simla wisely let it go, and that's point 20 for them. Another timeout called by CSDB, and the coach exhorting them to elevate the ball. Some good touches on the ball by the Bulldogs, but if you don't get it up in the air, it's either going to go under the net or into the net. So the Bulldogs being exhorted by their coach right now to elevate the ball. Take the time to try to get it up in the air. That's tough when serves are coming at you in line drive fashion. Very hard to handle. (20-6). Simla on top with 20 seconds to go in this timeout. Simla breaks their huddle first. Now the Bulldogs return to the floor. Simla still serving. CSDB needs to break this serve and get the service back. There's the right-handed jump serve, just short into the net. There's the break the Bulldogs needed. 0.7 for them. They've now equaled their output in the first game, and here's a substitution as Harmony comes in to replace Melcy. And going back to serve for the Bulldogs will be Harmony. See if the Bulldogs can roll off a few points here. They have the service. The team with the service has the advantage. Concentrates, and right-handed underhand serve falls short of the net. Point to Simla makes it 21-7. And back to serve for Simla is Cami. She's a right-handed server. She drives it into the net, giving the Bulldogs another point. 21-8 now. This will be Alyssa going back to serve for CSDB. They've already surpassed their first game output with 8 points now. Nice high serve in play. Hit twice by Simla. Spiked over. Hit by Kaliska. Good return there. And over by Danya. Hit once by Simla. Twice. And there's a spike attempt. Off Alyssa to Kaliska. Back to Alyssa. And point to Simla and the serve. Make it 22-8 Simla. There's their serve. Right-handed overhand serve way deep and just in bounds. CSDB let it go, but it was inbounds by a good foot. 23-8 Simla. Next serve forthcoming from Simla. Deep into the backcourt, and Alyssa almost got a hand on it. But it goes out of bounds, and Simla will be serving for game and match, leading 24-8. Some deep serves that are just staying within the boundaries for Simla. See if this one goes as deep. This is a real line drive. Kaliska does a good job of getting hands on it, but it goes out of bounds on the far side of the court. Simla takes the game and the match, 25-8. But one additional point in this game for the Bulldogs. A great effort. For the media productions team and the communications department for the Colorado School for the Deaf and the Blind, this is Bill Beagle. Thanks for joining us.